Thank you for listening to Sometimes Social. We just want to warn you that this audio may contain explicit language that may be inappropriate for some audiences.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Sometimes Social.
Hi.
My name's Luis.
And I'm Yesenia.
So if you haven't already, please go subscribe right now. We are on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. If you're on any one of those listening platforms, leave a rating and a review.
For what?
For our podcast.
What is it called? Oh, wait, you said that, huh?
When I said welcome back to Sometimes Social.
It's too early in the morning.
We need our beers, huh?
Just edit that part out.
We'll see. I'll use that as a teaser. So let's get into today's topic.
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to kick it off?
Yeah, today's topic is COVID.
Goddamn fucking COVID, man. Everyone is tired of COVID.
Yeah. San Diego County went back into the purple tier.
Yeah.
So that means that we're back on lockdown.
To be honest, I don't even really know what that means. Like, I don't know what the tiers are, you know?
Purple tier is the highest one because we have like a lot of people that have COVID.
Shouldn't that be red? Doesn't that only make sense to be red?
Maybe that's the next one.
Who decided? So red is like, you're fucked?
I don't know. So like, I don't know the TikTok. I think I did that in the last episode that we did about COVID. I said, I don't know. Which I do want to talk a little bit about that. You know, we did a COVID episode.
Right.
Probably a month or two back, maybe now.
I think it was a little longer than
remember
that.
how long, but
Yeah.
it was when quarantine was over.
Right.
Or we weren't in lockdown anymore. We got out of the purple tier. So businesses were opening back up.
Yeah.
We were able to go out and do more.
I got some news for you.
Oh my God, what?
I think that was back in June.
Holy shit, that was a long time ago.
Because I remember, like, I went back to work,
Mm-hmm.
and I went back on June 1st.
So it was June. It had been like June, July.
Yeah.
So anyway, you know, one thing that we talked about is like, what were we excited to do now that everything was opening back up?
Yeah.
And you had asked me, well, I didn't know what I wanted to do because I'm like, well, what is there to do? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But one thing that we did mention is that, you know, we wanted to go to Orange County, which we did.
But I think we did that before, didn't we?
No, because we mentioned, I said, let's go to Orange County next weekend. And you're like, yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
And then we never really talked about it on any of our episodes.
That was a fun weekend. It was a fun day, little getaway.
Yeah, it was a little getaway, and there was a lot of people. But I feel like we were still wearing our masks, though, and we were still trying to social distance.
Where we needed to be. Like, if we were out in the street walking around, there's no one around. Like, we weren't wearing masks there. But if we came around people, then yeah.
Yeah. One thing that you said that you wanted to do was you wanted to go to more museums.
Oh, yeah.
How did that work out for you?
I don't think we've been to any yet.
We literally haven't done anything.
No, I mean, there's nothing to do, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were saying like, oh, we want to go to Disneyland. Disneyland never even opened up.
Nope. And I don't think it's going to be open until 2021.
Yeah.
I just saw something today that says they probably won't be open until 2021.
They did open Buena Vista Street at
Yeah.
California Adventures.
Do you have to
just
pay to
the
get
shops.
into that?
I don't think so.
You're just going to walk in?
Yeah, but I wonder how they're limiting. I mean, they have to limit the amount of people that go in.
Well, you have to. I would imagine they keep count at the turnstile. You still have to walk in, right?
Right. So, yeah.
That's
Maybe
pretty cool.
we can do that.
Let's do that.
Wait, did they? I wonder if they had to shut down though.
Oh, good question.
Yeah. So purple tier, like what does that even mean? Like what can we do now that we're in, like what's different from the first time around?
I don't think anything. Well, so I was reading a little bit today, and I think the barbershops are able to stay open indoors now.
Barbershops and salons too.
Yeah, which is different from last time
Right.
because last time they were shut down.
Right.
I think restaurants are all moving to outdoor dining.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah.
Right.
Well, they were already doing outdoor dining, but I think they were able to operate 25% capacity indoor,
Mm-hmm.
and now back.
It's just outdoor.
Yeah,
So
back to outdoor.
when we were in quarantine, Before, though, they didn't have outdoor dining either.
No.
It was takeout only.
Right,
But
yeah.
now they can do outdoor dining.
Yeah, I think they were able to figure that out, or kind of social distance people. I think it took a little bit of time to.
I don't know. That does not look like no social distance outdoor dining. Let me tell you. They look pretty close together.
Yeah.
And then there's always like a lot of people.
To be honest, I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm one of those people that, so it's obviously serious, right? But I'm one of those people that doesn't really take it too serious.
COVID?
Right.
Well, you should.
I know I should. And I've actually, seen firsthand what it'll do. But I don't know. I'm over it, I guess.
You're just tired of the government telling you what you can and can't do?
Exactly. Yep. Bring Donald Trump back.
Listen to our last episode.
What do I mean bring him back? He's still here.
Yeah,
he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of conflicted too. Like, we've gone like grocery shopping.
Yep.
We went to Orange County.
Yep.
We were out, amongst other people. Like, yeah, we try to social distance. We make sure to hand sanitize or whatever, but we haven't, gotten COVID.
Right.
We haven't tested positive.
Yeah.
But most importantly, my parents got COVID.
Yep.
They tested positive, and we took care of them.
Yeah.
So I had to take my stepdad to the hospital because my mom was already on the hospital for something else.
Yeah.
So, I transported him in my car, and then I have my little brother.
Yep.
And since both of them were in the hospital, someone had to take care of him.
Yeah.
So we brought him here.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we were in the thick of it. I went into their house, and I had gloves on, I had my mask on, and I cleaned I cleaned all the surfaces for them, all the downstairs. But then after, I think you even got there, and then we ate there, So like we took off our mask and we were kind of, roaming around freely or whatever. And we didn't get it.
Nope, we didn't.
We didn't test positive. I picked up my mom from the hospital. Yeah, we did.
Thank you.
We did. But I drove her car back home, so
Right.
Technically, like, you didn't have that much exposure. But I was like in the car with her while she had COVID.
Was this the first, second, third, or fourth time you came to the hospital?
The first time when I brought her home, so like I was with her and I had a mask, but I wasn't wearing gloves, but I sanitized, and then I took her to the hospital almost every night. Because she just wasn't feeling well with COVID. And with all of that, I didn't get it, and like I was in the thick of it.
Right. I think that was kind of one of those situations where we were just like, it had to be done, right? Like we had to help them out.
Yeah, of course.
And so we were kind of just like, well, let's do what we have to do, and if we get it,
then
we'll
I think
deal with it.
For me, like, I was expecting to get it, so I was kind of like bracing myself, and I was even saying it, if when I get it, like, just I want it to be quick and painless, and like just get it over with,
Yep. And we even sent the kids out. The kids were gone for like 2 or 3 weeks almost.
2
right?
weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks, but that's what I'm saying, like, when you say, you think it's like whatever, like it's not that serious, that's where I'm kind of conflicted, because it's like I was in the thick of it, like, and I didn't get it. Like, how serious can it be, if I didn't get it? Like, it has to be something else. It's not just, freely spread or whatever. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me, But at the same time, like, hearing my mom's experience and my stepdad's experience, it's like, that shit's fucking serious,
It's pretty serious.
So we're actually bringing my mom in today, to tell their story, hers and my stepdad's, and, just share their experience of, what they had to face with COVID.
Yeah. All right, so let's bring her in.
Yep, let's do it. Hi, Mom.
Hi, daughter and son-in-law.
So before we get started on the COVID thing, I want to tell a quick story.
Uh-oh.
Oh gosh.
So when we first started dating again, so we dated back in high school, and then we started dating again, and then you decided that you were gonna move in with me, right?
Yeah.
And so I had to go to your house,
Get all my stuff.
get all your
pack all my
stuff.
shit.
Yeah. Somebody wasn't very happy though. And you were washing dishes. I remember clearly like it was yesterday. You were washing dishes and we were walking in and out and taking all the stuff, and you didn't say a word the whole time. And right as we were leaving, you turned around and you said, "Good luck."
How's that worked out for you?
I think it's going pretty good.
Oh, good.
Although I do think he wants to return me sometime.
Yeah, there are days where
No
I'm like,
returns. No returns.
there are days where I'm like, they have an extra bedroom over there. Like, let's send her back.
I also want to say he purposely put on his Charger jersey.
Yep.
because
you knew I was gonna have my 49ers.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you know she's gonna wear a 49ers shirt? He's like, because it's Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. And then sure enough, look at you.
It's okay because this counteracts that. This one's actually the power of this one is a little bit more than the power of that one because I've never changed teams.
Oh, please. Well, the team changed our city, so it's all right.
That one cut deep.
So today's topic, COVID, obviously. A bit ago, we were talking about how we hit the purple tier, and I told the audience, how you and Troy, I guess we should say her name. We didn't even say what her name was. Mom, Alex or Alexandra? What do you want to be called?
Whatever. Just no bad names.
So my mom, Alex, and my stepdad, Troy.
Okay.
So we told the audience that, you and Troy had COVID and how we helped you guys through that, took you to the hospital every night.
Yes.
But before we get, deep into, what your experience was with COVID, how did you guys feel about COVID before you guys got it?
Well, like everybody else, it's like the unknown. We didn't, know how serious it was or, was it not serious? Was it a hoax like everybody else? But, it's just the unknown. You didn't know. It was scary. First of all, a pandemic and, it was all over the news. It still is. And it was scary. It was scary to us. But, as months went by, because it started in March, as the months went, by, I mean, I think people started kind of letting their guard down. So that's what happened to us. We kind of let our guard down just like everybody else. I mean, we were tired of being inside. We wanted to go out, and, we let our guard down. And that's what, Troy did. He let his guard down. He wasn't, wearing his mask the proper way. My son was always, telling him, put your mask over your face, put your mask over your nose, wear it the right way. And one day he was talking to one of his coworkers that had it. And, they were both not wearing a mask. They were talking to each other. They were trying to keep their distance a little bit, but obviously it, wasn't enough.
Right.
And he got it.
And I guess at that point when he was talking to him, he obviously didn't know he had COVID, right?
Well, this is what happened. So he was sick one day, and the coworker, he was sick, and he went home. He went home sick. Well, the next day, which is, what happens when you have COVID, he felt like he was well, he was good. And so he came back to work. And that's what happens because the doctors, told me that, there's going to be a day where you're going to feel good. You're going to think that, you're getting better, but then bam, it hits you again. And that's what happened to him. So he went home, he rested. The next day he felt better. He came into work. And then that's when, Troy was talking to him. And then that night that guy felt sick again. So then he stayed home, and then he went to go get tested because his symptoms started getting a little bit worse. And he found out that he had COVID. And so then at that point, that's when Troy had to have gotten it.
Right.
And so that's what happened there.
So how long after
exposure?
Yeah, the exposure. When did Troy start getting his symptoms?
Exactly like 4 to 5 days. On the 4th or the 5th day, he started showing the symptoms, which was on a Sunday. He told me that he started feeling sick. He started feeling tired. He didn't know why he felt tired. The next day, which was Monday, that's when he started with the cough. And he told me he felt really tired and he had to cough. And I told him, I said, you need to go get tested. So that morning, which was a Monday morning, we called our primary doctor, and she said, you need to go to one of the testing sites. And so we did. And, he was in denial. We were all in denial. We were like, no, he can't have it, we couldn't believe it, And so that day, we came home and everything was normal. That was Monday. Tuesday we were all normal. He was, still feeling a little sick, but not as sick. Well, Wednesday morning came, got the phone call, and they told him, you're positive for COVID. So he immediately went upstairs, and, quarantined.
And how long after that did you start showing symptoms?
So, that night, unfortunately I got sick. I had a really bad stomach ache, and it was really, really painful. I went to the doctor. I went to the ER because it was so painful I couldn't take it anymore. So I went to the ER. I drove myself, hoping that I wouldn't, crash or anything, or, So anyways, I went to the ER, and they asked me there if I had been exposed to anybody with COVID. And I said, yes. I said, my husband. So they ran a test, and it came back, about an hour, 2 hours later. And they said, oh, you're negative. And I said, oh, thank God I'm negative, And so then they treated me for, the other issue I had, which was my gallbladder. Then they sent me home. Well, Friday night, because my gallbladder, I had gallstones, so I got a little bit worse. I started feeling really sick. So Saturday morning, I got up and I told Troy, and he was already feeling a little bit worse because it had been Wednesday, it had already been like 5 days, I think 4 or 5 days that, he was going through his COVID symptoms, and they were getting worse every day. So I went to the ER again on Saturday morning because I told him I couldn't, stand the pain again. And they told me, okay, your gallbladder is inflamed. We're going to give you, you're going to have surgery. But our protocol is to give you a COVID test before we do surgery. And I said, well, I already had a COVID test, and it came back negative. So then they're like, I know, but it's our protocol. And I said, okay. So they did the test again, and I was thinking, no, I'm not going to have it because they already told me that I didn't have it. And I hadn't been around him after, we found out that Troy had it. So, we were trying to separate. I would, leave him, whatever, water, food at the door, and he would, come get it. So anyways, that night, I was admitted to the hospital, and that night they came in and they said, you tested positive for COVID. So at that point, when they told me that I tested positive, I still did not have any symptoms. So that was Saturday night. And then, so the next morning I had my surgery. I still did not have any symptoms, which was Saturday. Sunday, I was in the hospital all day, still no symptoms. And then I knew that Troy was at home with, little Troy. And I knew I had to get home. And I told the doctor, I need to get out of here. They're like, okay, you're going to be discharged on Monday morning. I said, fine. So Monday morning came around, still didn't have any symptoms. And I knew that Troy was getting worse and worse and worse. So around noon, the doctor came in, okay, we got your discharge papers, you're going to be discharged. I said, good. So crazy thing, right when he walked out, I got this little cough, and I thought to myself, what the heck was that? Because I'm thinking that I was probably one of those asymptomatics and I'm not going to show any symptoms, but no. So it was, exactly, the 4 to 5 days when I started showing my symptoms. So when I came home, I was already feeling really, really sick.
Yeah, and that time that you were in the hospital, I think you were able to finally convince Troy to go to the emergency room.
Yes, because I kept telling him, go to the hospital, go to the ER. I said, call Jessie, tell her to pick up little Troy and go to the hospital. And he goes, no. He goes, I'll wait for you. There's no need for me to, contaminate anybody else or, infect anybody else. And I said, okay, but I think we didn't even see each other, so he couldn't take the pain anymore. And that's when Jessie, you picked him up and dropped him off, and then you picked me up, brought me home.
Yeah, so I remember when I picked up Troy and took him, I was in shock because he couldn't talk. He was trying to talk to me, but he sounded very winded. And, he looked weak too, and I'm like, oh my God, how come you didn't call us sooner? How come you didn't go sooner, because I couldn't totally tell, he just wasn't doing well. And I can't believe he lasted that long without going in to see a doctor.
And we all know Troy, so if he wasn't talking, something was wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, he doesn't, he's the type of person that never wants to burden anybody, never wants to bother anybody. He'll try to do it himself. He's always been that way.
Yeah.
Tough it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So once he got to the hospital, how long was it before they put him onto a ventilator?
So he went to the hospital. They put him on oxygen, just regular oxygen, and it was probably about a week. And then they put him on a ventilator.
Wow.
So he went in on July 27th, and on August 7th, they put him under, which was in a paralytic stage or a coma, and then they intubated him.
And then how long did he stay like that?
Until August 15th.
So, oh wow, so almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then at what point did he get released from the hospital?
Then 2 weeks, he was 2 weeks in a rehab. So, somewhere between probably the last week of August or the first week of September, he went to the rehab. He was in there 2 weeks. So he didn't get released until September 13th.
Wow.
So from July 27th to September 13th or 14th.
A long time.
It is a long time.
It's serious.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was pretty scary when he was in the hospital. So it looked like they were trying to do everything to kind of get him better, and his symptoms weren't improving. I mean, I didn't talk to him obviously like you did, but from what we were getting over here, it sounded like he wasn't improving, and even even though they were putting him on a ventilator and giving him oxygen, he wasn't getting better, and it started to get a little scary for a minute.
Yes, yes, it was scary, because even the doctors, they didn't know. They kept saying, you know what, this is all new. We're just learning, and there's no cure for COVID. We only cure the symptoms. So they immediately put him on that remdesivir, and then he was in a clinical trial, which I think kind of helped him too. And then it's still, he was kind of not, he was doing good some days, and he would go back down, and then he would do good again. And then, he was not improving, and the doctors couldn't say, oh yeah, he's going to come out of it. But they were leaning more towards, you better be prepared for the worst, is what they would say. And so one of the times I talked to one of the doctors, because there was different ICU doctors that I would talk to, but one of the doctors basically was trying to tell me, yeah, he's not going to make it. And I told him, nope. I said, I don't want to hear that. I told him on the phone, I said, I don't want to hear that. I said, I'm not going to hear that. I said, he's coming back. He's coming back to us, and that's that. And then his, tone changed, and 2 days later, he calls me back. And he tells me, I'm calling you to let you know that I am very, very happy with his progress. And I was kind of relieved, and I said, well, good, thank you, because he was the one trying to tell me, that it was kind of leaning towards the other way. So yeah. So they didn't know. I mean, it was like up and down. So yeah, it was scary.
So I just want to say, you gave the doctor a little attitude, and they straightened up their act.
Yeah.
And I also want to say,
that's
where I get my attitude from.
Yeah. It wasn't an attitude. It was more like, a wife, crying for,
comfort.
Give me something. Give me something positive. Yeah, give me something positive. Don't give me any negative, please. Kind of like. So yeah.
So it's been a little over 3 months since he first was exposed to COVID, right? So he went to the hospital. He had probably one of the worst cases that we've heard of, personally. I mean,
yes.
Obviously, there's people who have passed away, and those are worse. But as far as like our close community of friends and family, like this is by far the worst case that we've experienced. How is he doing now? Because it's been a little over 3 months now, right?
Yes. Today, I would say he's doing a lot better. The first day he got out, I mean, he was very weak still. He was on his oxygen, and, he couldn't do much. He still couldn't really move, that much, which, he was scared when he was in the rehab, because he couldn't walk. And every time he would try to get up, he was very dizzy. So once that dizziness went away, then, he was a little bit more relieved. And then obviously that's when he felt a little better, for them to, discharge him. But so he was feeling, still, he was weak still, couldn't really walk. And then, but every day he would try. We had home rehab, which they would come out twice a week. And then every day, they would check his vitals, they would check his oxygen levels, and, it was getting better. So today, I mean, actually this morning, he kind of told me that it's crazy how, because he had just gotten out of the shower, and he was, shaving, doing the usual and stuff. He goes, it's crazy how when I first got out, I couldn't even pick up the razor to, shave or anything, because he was so winded, and it's a big difference. So yeah, every day he's getting a little better. His heart is still a little bit off, but not as bad as when he first got out. So that's the only thing. I mean, he hasn't been on the oxygen for 2 weeks already. He's been off of it. Nice. And he drives around, himself, which is good because I was like driving Miss Daisy around everywhere. But he's doing really well. And, yeah, I mean, he has a little bit of, he gets a little bit of the depression part of it every once in a while. And, he thinks about it. But I mean, in time, what the doctors keep telling him is that everything is going to go back to normal eventually.
And how about you? Like, how was your recovery process? You didn't have it for as long as he did.
Or
I didn't have it. Yeah, no, I didn't have it as bad as he did. I never lost my sense of smell or taste. I mean, I had a low-grade fever. I was really weak, and I did lose my appetite, but it came back like a few days later after I was dreaming that I was eating a big juicy hamburger. So yeah, I came back, but like I told Jessie the other day, or she noticed, I'm losing like globs of hair. So that's one of the symptoms that they say.
You should try Monet.
So yeah, luckily there's products that kind of mask the issue, because I have this one product that I use. It's for thinning hair, and it just gives you volume. So I mean, it doesn't fix the issue. So what I keep hearing is eventually it's going to come back. It's going to go back to normal. I'll stop losing the hair, and everything will get better.
What about emotionally? How did you handle it emotionally?
A lot of people tell me that I was a lot stronger than I thought I was, because I mean, when he was in the ICU, I was walking around with a heavy heart, and I was, trying to manage the business on my own. I was running it. Thank God I didn't run it into the ground. Troy's business partner was so happy, relieved that he taught me how to do the payroll, because otherwise, I mean, nobody would have gotten paid if I didn't know how to do it. And so I had that, and then plus, my son homeschooling because of COVID, and I mean, it was a lot. And now I know why I'm losing all my hair, because it was a lot of stress my body went through, and I mean, I don't know, I guess I am a lot stronger than I thought I was. So
definitely. Yeah. I can't imagine going through all of that.
Yeah. And but I want to thank my daughter, and you, both of you guys, she was here every freaking night when I thought I was gonna make it. And she would come. I thought one of the times I thought, oh my gosh, she's gonna tell me no and hang up on me, but she did it every day. Every time, every night I called her in the middle of the night, she would say, okay, I'll be over. And she came over, and then I was released from the hospital, and I would call her again.
1 o'clock in the morning.
And she would come with no problems. And thank you for that. I love you guys.
We love you too.
Yeah, we had a conversation when you guys first tested positive. We said like, hey, like if we this is something that we just got to do, and if we get it, we get it. Oh well, but we just got to fucking help.
And we thought that we were gonna get it, yeah. And that's one thing that we're kind of like, me personally, like I'm conflicted. It's like, is COVID like really serious, or is it not? And one of my big issues is like, you telling us your story and Troy's story, and it's like, this shit is fucking serious, like he was on a ventilator and the doctors think that he wasn't gonna make it, but yet like I was there with you, like in the thick of things, and I didn't get it, and I don't know if it's just, I have a really good immune system. We also think that we were exposed to COVID previous, to it being, global or whatever. So maybe like that can be it. But that's like one of the things that we're kind of struggling with. Like we hear all these stories and it's like this shit is serious and we want to make sure to take precautions. But at the same time, we're like, we want to go out. We want to go out eat at a restaurant. We want to hang out with all of our friends. We want to hang out with you guys, but it's hard.
Well, not you guys, because you guys had COVID.
Well, that's the thing, it's like, I mean, how many times have like Troy has had the flu before and I didn't get it.
Right.
And we live in the same household. There has been times where he has the flu and then I got it. Mm-hmm. I believe that it's just, everybody's different. Everybody's body is different. So at the time, if your immune system is low, then yes, you're going to get it. If you have a good immune system, you eat right, you exercise, you take your vitamins, then yeah, you might not get it. You guys were exposed to, all of us. But I recommend, this is just me, my opinion, that you guys should go see, get the antibody tested. Because maybe you guys did have it and you guys are one of the asymptomatic people. You never know. Even I asked the doctor, one of the times when I was talking to him, I said, so what does this mean? Since I had it, since we both had it, am I immune to it? And he said, well, it all depends on your antibodies. You can have the antibodies for 3 days, or you can have the antibodies for 6 months. You're not always gonna be immune to it for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. That's why every year we always have to get the flu shot and stuff, because, every year there is something new. But, so that's just my opinion. If you guys really want to know if you had it, you can get tested for the antibodies. You never know.
Yeah, we think we were exposed to it back in November of last year because my brother got really sick.
And he was like, he had this really bad cough and he was always tired. And even he said, like, when he was standing up, like I think he said he felt like he had fluid in his lungs and he felt better when he would lay down,
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, especially on your stomach.
Yeah. So this was in November, but it felt like he was sick all up until January of the following year. And then we moved out from, living with them, and we lived with grandma for a month after that, So that's another thing. Like, if that was COVID and then we lived with grandma, we were all exposed. Like, is it real or not? I don't know. It's so hard. But I think you're right. Like, everybody is different. Everybody's immunity is different. And yeah, we just need to take care of ourselves and take our own precautions.
Not let our guard down.
Yeah, definitely not let our guard down. So, this whole episode is also really about, like, we're going back into, the purple tier, because there's a spike in cases, like more people are getting it now. What precautions are you guys taking, with the spike in cases?
Well, we try not to, have people over as much because, I believe that a lot of people get it because of the gatherings. That's how it's exposed. Because, you go to the grocery store, you're trying to stay away from people. You try to sanitize as much as you can. You sanitize whatever you touch. You go in, grab whatever you need, and you're out of there. To me, I think people get exposed more from gatherings. Mm-hmm. So, if we try to just, hold off a little bit longer, I know everybody, we all want to be around each other. We all want to see each other. But at the same time, just me personally, I love you guys. I love my family. I don't want my mom to get exposed either because, I mean, you never know. And it's just, you never know. I mean, because I've heard of 86-year-old women and men that have had it, and they had it really bad, but then, they survived it. So you never know. But, just, I would say just hold off a little bit longer and, just, wait and see what happens, and hopefully, the vaccine is out, a lot sooner than later.
Right. Yeah. And I know you say, you're scared for grandma to get it, or be exposed to it, but I don't think she cares.
No, she definitely doesn't.
The other day, we haven't gone over there. We haven't taken the kids, and she's, oh, you guys are keeping my kids away from me. She goes, and I'm like, well, grandma, like, I don't want you to be exposed, and she's just like, pues ya me estaba muriendo el otro día de todos modos. I guess she was choking on her drink or something. She says I guess I should translate that she was already dying the other day anyway, because I guess she was drinking something and she was choking. And so she's all like, I was already dying, so might as well just bring it. I'm like, I'm like, no, grandma, no.
Yeah, well,
but I totally get it.
One thing she did tell me, and and just kind of makes me sad just to even think about it, is that she said she's not afraid to get it. She's afraid of dying alone, because I mean, you're there alone in the hospital. Yeah. You don't have family. The doctors and the nurses are your family for a little bit, because they're the ones there. And I mean, the doctors and the nurses, especially this one particular nurse that took care of Troy, her name is Allison Newton. I'll never forget that. I mean, I felt like she was like a true angel, because she told me, she's like, she was young, and she said, I'm going to take care of Troy like if he was my own dad. She's like, I'm going to be here for him. And she was one of the ones that called me every time. And she would give me updates. And I felt like, she was a true angel. And, and it's sad. And it's sad to them, because, yeah, their families cannot come in, you know, they can't be there with them. So that's one thing that I remember grandma saying. She's not afraid of getting it. She's afraid of dying alone.
But yeah, she wants her grandkids there.
Yeah. She of course. She loves, her grandkids, and she wants to see her grandkids all the time.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to wrap it up for us.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on and telling us yours and Troy's story. And it's serious.
And I think that a lot of people should tell their story, because one thing I kept hearing from the doctors is, this is all new, we're just learning, and everybody's body's different, everybody had different symptoms. So if you guys have any more friends or that have had it, they should tell their story.
Yeah,
definitely. Well, if you've had COVID, let us know. We'll bring you on.
I actually know I have a couple friends who have had it, but I don't think we want them on here telling their story, because they're out and about.
They got it from being very, very social. Yeah. Not sometimes social, very social.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. Yeah, they're super spreaders. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for telling your story.
Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
All right. Well, thanks to Alex, my suegra, for joining us.
Yeah.
Telling her story, her and Troy's story. If anyone out there feels like they would be willing to come on and tell their story, we're willing to hear it. So reach out to us.
Yeah, let us know, or let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know how you feel about COVID, and
is it serious or is it not serious?
Yeah. Well, and it also depends on where they're at too. Like, let us know what it's like where you're at,
right?
Because we have some followers from all over the country.
Florida,
Arizona. We have we were on a break podcast who follows us. So.
And they're in Arizona.
They're in Arizona, yeah. So.
Wonder how the laws are over there, or
Yeah.
what they're doing. Are they? Do they have purple tiers and yellow tier? What other tiers?
I have no idea. But they are also doing distance learning there.
Oh.
And I think they have 3 kids.
Oh wow.
3 or 4 kids in there.
God. I'm gonna pray for you guys. I totally understand.
Yeah, it's a pretty funny podcast. Go and check them out. It's called We Were on a Break.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, and then stay tuned for our next one. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.